Hello everybody, it's Megan from Krazy Fluid Art, and thank you for popping along to this next video of this beautiful cheese board. It's got some stunning colours of magenta and pink and gold and a bit of yellow, as you'll see in the next photo that's coming up. It's just gorgeous. Unfortunately, what you can't see in this is once I've resined it, the pigments in this board just absolutely popped, and she just looked amazing. So I'm going to take you through the process. All the colors that I've used will be listed on my description if I can remember what they all are, but we'll get through the process. So you'll see here I've got my board all ready to go. I always put a layer of gesso and I tape around the edges, and I tape the line that I want to mark on my board, and then I cover the rest of the board with a bit of plastic wrap just to protect it from all the paint that I use. And that's just a process I like to keep my boards clean. So I'm using a mix of some acrylic paints that I've mixed with my medium. I'm using a boom gel. I'm using some This Little Piggy pigments. They're all a really great combination of colors together. So what I'm doing here now is just laying my pillow down. So I use a white house paint that I can get from my local hardware store called Bunnings. There's a few that we can use, but I use this as my favorite. It's called, I think it's called Spring Paint. It's a light blue tin that I can buy in 25 litres. And I think it works perfectly for what we do. So I'm just covering, getting a nice pillow. You want to have a pillow down for any type of paint that you're doing when it comes to acrylic pouring, because you need something for your design and your paint to flow over. If you were to lay your swipe directly on a dried canvas, you'd find it very difficult to move the paint around to create the design that you're after. So it is important to have a pillow down. You can use different colors. I've colored some of my pillows into different colors depending on the design that I'm using. So the world is your oyster. Like with anything when it comes to acrylic pouring, you can create some of the most amazing pieces. This cheese board's already sold, so it's already being used by its amazing owner. And I'm not surprised because the colors just complement each other really, really well. So I'm doing what I call a reverse swipe or reverse paddle swipe. So it's where I layer the colors for a swipe backwards. So I put my cell activator down first, which is what I'm doing now. So I'm layering my white cell activator that I've made with titanium white and according to the Shellee Art Recipe. Now I'm adding a Quinacridone magenta. It will be Atiler. This is one of my favorite colors. I don't like pink, but the Atiler Quinacridone magenta is just gorgeous. So if I'm painting a pink design, that I can guarantee will always come out. This is golden Ochre from Amsterdam. I think, as you can see on the paddle, these colors just look really good together. So I really wanted to create this golden pink design just to break it up a bit, and I was really impressed with how these colors came out. Now I think this is TLP, it might be unicorn, I can't remember, but I will go back and I will check and I will add it into the comments, into the video description, so that if I've got it wrong, or it might be crescendo, it's either unicorn or crescendo, but I'll double check. I always get those two colors confused. Now this one here is, what is it? I can't remember. Oh my God, I'm so having a mental block. Again, it will be listed. And then I've got TLP Horizon. So it's a beautiful gold pigment. So that's what I'm using now. And then I think I finish it off then again with some more of that unicorn or crescendo pigment from TLP. So that will be the last color that I pop onto my swipe tool. So then what we do is we flip it and we swipe it across our canvas. Oh no, I tell a lie. I forgot that I was adding Boom Gel mulled wine. So we're just going to swipe that across. I'm not very good with swiping, but I love doing the reverse swipe because you can see here already that it's not swiped right across the design. And that's just because of the pressure that I apply, or the lack of pressure that I apply as I move along the canvas. But I find, especially with my bigger swipes, the design it gives you is amazing. So what you'll see over the next few minutes as I get ready for do the next swipe is how those cells and that swipe develops. I don't have to do anything. I'm just going to let it do its job. So now I'm going to swipe on the handle. So I'm going to do exactly the same thing that I have just done with the big swipe, but on a smaller canvas with a smaller swipe tool. So what we might do is we might speed this up a little bit and run through it very quickly, but we'll just layer all the same colors in exactly the same way so that we get exactly the same layering as previous. So we're just about finished here. We're just adding the last two colors on, or three colors on, again finishing with the Boom Gel mulled wine, which is another absolutely stunning color made by Boom Gel here in Australia, and we swipe. Now I remember that I'm not happy with this swipe. You'll see in the top corner there didn't really swipe. I've got this smudge of paint just sitting there that I haven't really moved. I've just ended up dumping on the canvas, on the handle. So I'm just going to get a smaller tool and we're just going to add some cell activator onto that tool, and I'm actually just going to swipe it like a normal swipe, just to break that up and get some cells in there so that it keeps flowing with the rest of the cheese board. So we're just going to swipe it up very gently there, just to create some cells, just because I just didn't want this line of color just sitting there because it just meant it wasn't flowing with the rest of the design. So you can see them cells are starting to just develop a little bit, but I will give it a little bit of a blow just gently, just to help encourage that and move the base, because you'll see on the handle there's that hard straight line. And again, I'm not much for hard straight lines with the design. I love straight lines on my boards, don't get me wrong, but on the actual design itself I do prefer to have softer edges. So I've just added another swipe in there because on the bigger design there was a bit more of that line of paint just sitting there. So we're just going to give that top edge a little bit of a blow and the bottom edge a bit of a blow, just to encourage that paint to move a little bit and to encourage some cells to pop out, and just manipulate that design a little bit more. And then I don't think I'm going to spin this, purely because of the type of board it is. I can't put it in the center because it will fly off unless I tape the board. So what I've done in the past when I've been spinning these particular type of boards, I've put the design in the center of the board because that's what you want. Otherwise it's just going to all flow in one direction. So I will tape the board down and then spin it. What I'm doing here, as you can see, I'm just tilting the board to encourage the paint to move in a certain direction, so that those edges that were at the bottom corner have now come across, so the rest of the board's got some nice diagonal coverage on it. So that's pretty much, I think, where I am leaving the board. I don't think I'm going to do too much more to it, but you can see how beautiful it is. I have no issues that there's not paint all over the board. I don't mind that there's a couple of white patches. I don't have any issues with that. So now what I'm doing is I'm just manipulating a few things here and there. So I think I've just added a tiny little bit of cell activator to that tool, and I've just dragged it along just to create some cell lines on some areas where there's a bit of paint that's just not sitting right, or the cells just don't look right. So I'm just, as you can see, being very gentle. And this is the great thing about fluid art, is if you're not happy with something, you can generally manipulate the design around to fit what you're happy with. That being said, as an artist, what we see to what your customer will see will be very different. So what I might see and I don't like, a customer will love. So don't feel like you have to fix every single thing on your design. It's not necessary. But because you will spend hours and hours fixing something that someone doesn't even see. So is it worth it? So this is pretty much it. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Please like, comment, subscribe if you want to see more of my videos. If you've got any suggestions, please just ask. But again, this is the finished design. As you can see, it just looks beautiful. I love the way the cells flow. I love it how it looks on the cheese board. But until next time, stay safe and stay happy.